Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So some healthy consolidation out there as rotation continues. Big tech bulls stood out to the upside. We had the healthcare sector and the Russell small caps standing out as a bit weaker. Cryptocurrency is dumping, which always has me paying extra attention. I'll tell you why. And we'll check out our charts as we start our shortened week. Hope you had a good holiday. So let's start with crypto first. I already did a separate video about it, but I'm paying attention because I view crypto as a high risk, high reward, risk on asset class. And when everything is all hunky dory in the market and the bulls are in complete control, we see cryptocurrency do really well because investors are just throwing money all over the place at whatever moves. And when we see that stop and when we see some fear, then I start looking around to other places saying, okay, is this fear just relative to this one individual sector, which is possible? Or does it start showing the shifting sentiment in traders and investors to try and, or I should say, to start and take a little bit off the table and to lighten up a little bit back into cash? So it's too soon to say. It's only a few hours after the dump at this point, but it just gets a little light flashing in my brain to pay a little bit extra attention. I'm on the wrong screen. So we've got SPY, daily consolidation. There are no red flags here, so certainly no fear at this point as we are looking at some sectors doing well today and others pulling back, which is keeping the broader market healthy. So simple statement, if EMA 12 support continues to hold, then SPY is a daily bull flag. Anything above 446.16 is a higher low. Daily consolidation is underway, but again, there's no notable bear volume like we have on every real drop that we see. So keeping an eye out for it, but no sign of it at the moment. QQQ is up at the all-time high, and 382.71 is a bit of a double top with the high of today, and we would have to break the low of 379.15 for that to be any kind of red flag. So again, simple statement, if 379.15 is holding, the bulls have absolute complete control, and we'll see if they can get a new clear all-time high tomorrow, and if not, we'll be keeping an eye out for the potential of weekly consolidation to shape up. But we have a short-term support level as our guide. Financial sector still struggling for a daily higher low to form. Lower high every day over the last 5 days, a close at the low of today, and bulls are going to be a bit cautious. The last time we pulled back here, I would have anticipated a daily lower high to be a result of this bounce. We went straight to the higher high, but we got no follow through. So with this double top now, we have to be cautious. Anything above 37.22 is a daily higher low, but if we keep pulling back here, we then have to be cautious of a head and shoulders, where if we fail to get a new all-time high and confirm a daily downtrend, leading to weekly consolidation. We're already in weekly consolidation. So again, just a little bit cautious up at these levels as far as the financial sector is concerned. If I were going to draw a resistance line, it would go right there. And at this point, a support line, we would have broken bear below it at this point, but I care more about the price levels in the uptrend, with 37.22 being the key support level, which is just under 2% away. Hourly has to change the trend back to the bulls for any kind of daily bounce to get going. So as far as our major sectors and who is showing more weakness, XLF is definitely showing more weakness than QQQ or XLV at this point. Let's just look at XLV. It was a lead bear today, had a big drop in the morning, but a bounce into the second half of the day. As far as the daily is concerned, we're looking back at the previous low of 133.97. And again, it's the same thing as XLF, where these higher highs here are just not getting follow through. So I'm always cautious and I look for rising wedges when that happens. In this raging bull market, some rising wedges have broken bullish. But I would be watching this resistance here. You could call that an ascending triangle or a rising wedge, depending on how you draw it. Just a little tweak of that line. And the difference is whether it's a horizontal resistance line or a slightly uptrending resistance line. But again, just paying attention, because I can see a scenario here where if the bears, we know the burden of proof is on the bears, but if the bears show up with these tops on XLV and XLF, and start taking out daily support levels and bear volume starts showing up, it's definitely going to get our attention. So It's right there for the bears to take it. The question is, can they? IWM, daily still consolidating. We started the morning strong and tested the high of Friday, and we double topped. We only broke it by 3 pennies. And then as soon as we dropped down and hit a new low of the day from there, bears take short-term control. Still in a daily uptrend as long as 227.19 holds, but the largest holding sector-wise in IWM is the financial sector. So the fact that XLF has been pulling back for 7 days at this point, 6 days, is definitely slowing the climb for IWM. So keeping an eye out to see if the daily high or low on IWM forms when XLF gets a daily bounce going. But again, the key for IWM here is, do we see a new all-time high on this daily uptrend, or do we lose the daily uptrend first and have to set a weekly higher low, which is a possibility, and those daily higher lows are our guide. Biotech sector, rejected from the high of Friday, just like IWM did, failed to break it by 18 cents and kept daily consolidation going. There's no red flag at this point. I put out a fib video over the weekend on our YouTube channel. I suggest checking it out, but we're looking at the fib retracement here, and it is not significant enough to negate a possible bull flag at this point. What is going on? It's not letting me draw the way I want to. But plenty of space. Looks like fib extensions. Plenty of space for a bull flag to try and form. And again, it's just a simple statement where if we see daily EMA 12 support holding, it's going to hold 382 retracement, and it's going to be a possible daily bull flag. So bulls are scouting for a daily high or low on XBI, and we're keeping an eye on first hourly oversold conditions, which hasn't happened yet. If we break the low of today, tomorrow, first hourly oversold conditions will be on tap, and we're scouting a daily high or low. And there was a lot of tech names today, where we headed into today, scouting a daily high or low. Facebook said it and is looking back at the all-time high. Amazon said it and is testing its recent bounce high. Who else? There were a couple other names. Google trying for the daily high or low, less convincing. So those look a lot like XBI just as far as a bull move, healthy daily consolidation, holding daily EMA 12, setting a daily high or low. So that's what we're keeping an eye out in the short term. MJ sector still keeping an eye on things, but again, bulls are not proving a thing at this point. Red day in the sector today. And if CGC cannot break 18, then the bulls prove nothing. And we're going to look to continue the downtrend as these are potential weekly bear flags at this point. Still watching for the momentum shift, but again, not making any excuses for the bulls because they're not proving a thing to us, and they have to see a significant amount of proof if we're going to shift the longer term downtrend. Keep an eye on SPRT tomorrow. This is just my kind of play as far as a massive move up, a massive pullback, and then scouting a daily high or low to try and form. This is not the kind of play that I just scale into. I have to have a clear support level that I play off of. We filled the gap today at 19.99, and we have set a lower low each day the last 4 days. So what I want to see is the low of today, 17.57, hold tomorrow. So I'm going to watch tomorrow morning and see if there's a bottom fishing play off of that level, because I anticipate when the daily bounce gets going, we'll see a 20% bounce fairly easily. Again, it's the hard thing to time it when the bounce gets going. It's not hard to anticipate a solid move when you pulled back this much and have this much range. And an example of a similar play would be LAZR. And LAZR had the massive run to all-time highs and the massive pullback. It was setting a lower low every single day. It formed an inside bar, and then we got a massive big time bounce of 60% plus off of the low. And then we formed an equilibrium after all that volatility. So I'm not going to be holding my breath and looking for 60%, but I am scouting a daily bounce, and I do think 20% is certainly attainable. So just keeping an eye on the bulls to try and shift that momentum. We'll see where we open tomorrow to see if I have any interest in that play. AMC, daily tightening range, breaking bull right at the close today. Bulls have to break 48.30 if we're going to follow through, but nice clear daily higher lows. GME has earnings tomorrow, and it may correlate to what the reaction in GME is. But if we get over 48.30, we're looking at 48.92, 49.79, and the weekly move will continue. And again, it was just a pattern of a lower high every week that broke, and now we're scouting a higher low every week. And we're anticipating that after all this volatility, we're going to be looking for an equilibrium as the more likely scenario. TLRY, already looked at it. So MJ sector, not sure why I have TLRY up here. Again, just weakness, unable to get any follow through, bulls not proving anything. So there's a few names that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. We're watching XLF and XLV. Again, we're not going to ignore. We get lulled into this sense of complacency, right? Where it's just bulls, buy all the time. And crypto is the perfect example of that, where for 7 weeks now, we've gone up 7% on Bitcoin. And we set a higher low every single week for 7 weeks. And it was just dip buying after this coin's breaking out, this one. It was just maximum euphoria. And we know how euphoria ends. It ends fast and hard. And we haven't seen SPY. We've seen some fear resets, but we haven't seen euphoria, a little euphoria bubble pop yet. And we're going to have to see monthly consolidation for that to happen. Again, not going to try and predict and nail a top, but I just know that monthly consolidation is very overdue. And that will be the euphoria popping the next time we see monthly consolidation. Keeping in mind, I will absolutely be looking for a monthly higher low to be a result of that euphoria popping. But when we have XLV and XLF with clear tops at their all-time highs, I pay attention. And I just keep an eye out for whether the bears can prove anything in those sectors. Hope you had a good weekend. Glad to be back. Shortened week. Do good things. Enjoy some goats.